Thank you.
Yeah. All right, what are we looking at today?
Okay. So I guess first question is I wanted to ask you about my champ pool because
Hmm.
I'm running into some issues with my champ pool. Like I really just play Viego, to
Okay.
be honest. And then if Viego's picked or banned, um I have like a good bit of time on Echo and Sylas in the mid lane, so I just like play them in the jungle as my seconds.
Hmm.
And then occasionally I'll play Zac. But I feel like the majority of my champ pool has kind of like the same weaknesses. Like they're all kind of assassin, get CC'd once and die champs.
Not Zach. You said you play Zach?
Yeah, but I haven't played Zac in like
Uh,
seasons. Like
okay, I was about
I
to say
haven't.
I wouldn't put Zach in that same category, but
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't put Zac in that category. But like Viego, Silas, Echo, those are like my main three, and I feel like they all kind of have that issue.
I agree with
Um,
Viego and I mean, not. I mean, I don't know. Viego's definitely the more in that zone because Echo's usually like this. Echo's known as the safest assassin because he could always ult out if it looks bad.
true.
So you can't really see like a lot of the Chinese like Echo like I know the Echo one trick that got challenged sorry rank one last year. He went merc treads like 90% of his games. Like he went full damage.
Interesting.
He didn't go bruiser, but he would just go like full damage plus mercs. Because as long
Mhm.
as you can't CC lock him, he'll always ult out, right?
Yeah,
So Echo doesn't really have that problem of like
that makes sense.
playing too in because he can always ult out. So unless you're playing like a complete psychopath, Echo doesn't have that
I
issue.
guess maybe it was a bit of hyperbole, but
Oh, okay.
I kind of mean just more like I struggle into a lot of the same champs, and I
Mhm.
don't know if it's like because of the fact that they all kind of have similar weaknesses, or if it's just because I struggle into kind of similar champions.
They're all melee champs, and melee champs have counters. Like melee champs will always be countered by
Yeah,
um very strong like peeling or zone control. Like every melee champ in the game, for example, is countered by Anivia. Because if you try to
yeah,
go into Anivia, she'll just put a wall up and then she'll slow you with her ult and then she'll Q you. And the Q is unmissable because you're slowed by their ult. So every melee champ has weaknesses, the same way how every range champ has weaknesses of being squishier. So
mhm,
they're more prone to getting one shot, right? That's just how the game works. If you were like saying, oh, I play Viego, Echo, Sylas, and um, Kindred, and I find the same issues, that would be a bit odd. That would be like a player
yeah,
thing because
yeah,
Kindred's obviously very different. But the fact that you play three short range melee champions and you feel like you struggle versus the same thing shouldn't be too surprising, right?
mhm.
Uh,
So I guess my question is like, do you think it's good if I try to find something to kind of patch that hole, or is it fine to just like keep doing what I'm doing? Because like I am still climbing, I guess, but there are a lot of games where it just feels like no matter which of my champions I pick, it's just gonna be a really hard game.
yeah, I don't think it's a I mean, thing is, you could really get high level playing any champion. Um,
Yeah.
so it's really definitely not like it's definitely better to just fix like what you're doing wrong than saying, "Oh, I need to
Mhm,
revamp my entire champ pool," right?
mhm.
Because it's the same way how you might have problems as a melee champion. If you let's say you start playing range champions, you're going to find new problems as range champions. That doesn't mean the fix is now play new melee champions, right?
Yeah,
So I think it's definitely the fix. It's not, if you want to learn new champs, then by all means do it, right? But you shouldn't
yeah,
do
yeah,
it because like, oh, I'm losing a lot of games because of whatever, whatever. You know what I mean? That part doesn't really
mhm.
make much sense to me. So I think definitely you could just play
Okay.
to improve on your weaknesses, then try to be like, okay, let me just learn new champs, right? You can
Okay.
again still welcome to learn new champs, but I don't think that should be like because you want to, um, more than a I'm losing because if you're playing champ, these are also pretty mainstream champs of like Silas and Viego. Like these are definitely Silas and Viego are actually champs that are actually there are some champs that are like really easy to counter. For example, um, Viego and Silas don't are actually out of all like the bruiser melee champs. They are, for example, Xin Zhao is a really easy champ to counter. Xin Zhao's entire kit is based around countering ranged champions, so he is countered by melee champions. His entire ult
Yeah.
is the idea of if you're not in my circle, you can't hit me. So that counters range champions because range champions can't be in his circle, right? Like a Xerath will never be inside a Zinzao circle. And if Xerath is inside a Zinzao circle, that's pretty bad for the Xerath because he's just going to die to Zinzao, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
Zinzao, for example, is a bruiser that his kit is designed to counter ranged. So if you just pick short range into Trundle, I mean sorry, into Zinzao, like you pick Trundle jungle, um, for mid lane, you could pick Sylas, right, melee champion. For AD carry, you could pick a short range AD carry like Vayne, where all of Vayne's auto tackles will always be inside Xin Zhao's ult, right?
Mm.
And then like, Xin Zhao can't actually use his kit properly, and he's going to have a hard time. So Xin Zhao is a champ that is, for example, easy counterable. Viego and Sylas, out of all of, like the melee bruiser junglers, they are usually like the least counterable because, for example, Viego will always be useful because he can always get a reset. Viego could be 0-10 versus Renata, Zillion, right? But if he just plays back and lets his team do the work, he can always flash ult to get a reset. Worst case scenario, you know.
Yeah. Mm.
Sylas, same thing. Sylas could have the worst day of his life, but there's always an ult you can take. Like unless
Yeah.
there's really rare games where you have 5 bad Sylas ults. Like usually there's at least one good one, you know. So I
Yeah.
think that these are champs that are kind of they actually excel at kind of always being useful. And a lot of times, if you find yourself dying too much on either champion, that's usually because you're just not playing discipline enough or like patient enough, you know. So I think a lot of times
Mhm.
the problem I'm watching the VOD, but everything so far is pretty normal. Everything's
Yeah.
good. If I'll speak up
I
when I say
wanted to
something
say
wrong.
there's two main mistakes that I know I made this game. I think my first one's actually right there. I think that I shouldn't like it's just like a I move just barely too far to the tower and I take a tower auto for it.
Hmm.
And I think that that actually like limits my options a lot. I feel like if I don't like greed a little bit here, like if I just walk away right here and I just
Yeah,
like
you
don't,
should have.
then like maybe I can play for the Drake with these two after shoving a wave or something or
No,
like
with mid dying, nothing you
not
could have
really.
done.
My mid's dead.
Yeah.
Probably not.
No,
But
you couldn't have. I mean, I agree you shouldn't take a tower
um
shot, but it wouldn't have made a difference.
yeah.
Either way, you should still full clear up here, get level 6, and
Yeah.
then with your 6, then play for dragon. And bot lane dying
Mhm.
has nothing to do with you. So I'll speak. I'll
Okay.
speak. We could still LARP while I'm watching the VOD. If I see a problem, I'll bring it up. But so far, there's no problems. It's like
Okay.
I'm not gonna use the word perfect gameplay, but this is basically perfect gameplay.
Okay.
Uh, but and then so a lot of times people have problems with champs like Viego or Salas is you're probably just playing fights too fast. If you can play fights slower,
Yeah.
and so a lot, for example, in this game, you'd ask me what counters Viego in this game. I would say Vladimir W stops you getting reset, Braum tag
Mhm.
getting CC locked. Those are probably your biggest counters. I forget who their jungler is. Silas. Silas doesn't. I mean, you can say Silas W maybe, but not really, right? Um, but I say this is your first problem. This is your first mistake. I don't know where we're going. Just start dragon or play for bot 3-3 or dragon, right? Like I think
Mhm.
you're strong. You got 6. Um, you have Ash ult. Um, I wouldn't like here you have bot prio. In this case, they have top prio. So if I had a choice to play grubs or dragon, I'd play dragon because I have again I have bot prio. Well, top I have no top prio, right? So I would rather
I think I
play
got a
into
little
that side. You get,
tunnel visioned because I saw like the Vlad was pushed up
yeah,
and
but
I
again,
thought maybe if we kill him then we can do dragon and then I think I just chased too far.
yeah, I think right now, okay, if you look here, if he doesn't respect it and he's still hitting tower now, then sure. So you see him respect it, you
Mhm.
could instantly do a U-turn back to dragon or back to Gromp. It's not, it's you haven't overcommitted
Yeah.
yet, you know.
Okay.
Um, so this is like probably first mistake of the game because now we're obviously you can't do this because Cho'Gath came and which is nothing shouldn't be surprised because we saw he had Pride this entire time, you know. And now
Mhm.
we go to the bot side, but by now our Prio has lost. So imagine if we were here earlier when this fight started, or like when Silas ganked, I think you could take this 3v3 potentially, you know. But by the time you show up,
Mhm.
Ash dies. Now obviously there's no fight to take. The Ash is already dead, you know.
Yeah.
So I think this is just identifying like the wrong lane to play for. I think
Okay.
Ash shown is always the lane you're gonna play towards. Ash is set up for you, slows her ult, blah blah blah, right? If you
Mhm.
press tab, let me press tab here. If you look at all your lanes, top 0-2, mid 0-2, your only lane that's not hard losing is Ash's 1-1. So this is your only lane
Mhm.
that's not losing. Mid and top is just blatantly losing. So it's your only. I'm not saying they're winning, but it's definitely just your least losing lane. Agreed.
Yeah.
So it's your least losing lane, and it's your lane with pretty good setup, and it's your only lane with prio. So you should never be leaving them like. And Saus was able to impact their lane first because he was just here faster, right? So this is your like
Mhm.
first big mistake. This is gonna say.
Okay.
And now that you see he's on dragon, now you cross the grubs, which is normal. Um, I think here I just finished the third one. I don't know why you decided to stop hitting it.
I thought Silas was gonna come stop me because they have vision on me
Yeah, but you'd
and
see
he
him cross
finished
their
the
mid.
dragon a
He just did
while
dragon
ago.
right now. So if you see him,
Yeah.
he's crossed their mid, right? And if you usually see a ward too. So the only way and so for him to avoid this ward, he'd have to like E over this wall and go like this way, but that's so slow. Well, he won't even get here in time. And if you
Yeah.
do see him, worst case scenario, you have ult or flash to go over, so you'll never die,
Mhm.
right? Um,
Okay.
so I think a bit too vegan. And for that same reason, you would never smite the second one. You would just kill the second one normally. Or you never smite the
Mm,
first one. You just kill first and second one normally, and you save the smite for the last one. So even if he does come, you can still just 50-50 it. It's not like you're gonna lose you're
mm,
gonna lose 1v1. I think you both have gotten like 0 kills. You're both around equal strength, right?
yeah.
So
I think he has a little bit more, but he hasn't reset for it yet,
yeah,
so
so
I think
he
pretty
has
good.
one assist on. You're actually up on him. Look at the CS
Oh, he
gap.
has like nothing.
You both
Yeah.
have one assist, so you have way more CS. If anything, you're stronger than him.
Hmm.
Yeah, you definitely have level advantage. He's probably level 6 still. So if anything, it's the opposite. You should not be
Yeah.
scared of that Sylas showing up to grubs. But yeah. I don't know, so far you just have every lane losing. It's not your fault. Besides I think the one time you could have saved your bot lane. Besides that, top and mid both being 0-2 have nothing to do with you.
Here I just have Bork, so I was just like, I'm just gonna go
think
kill
you're
him, not have my item.
I think you're just saving your ult a little too long. Also, you're
I
playing right.
just knew he had flash, so I like
You
I was
also
waiting for the flash.
yeah, just I mean it's fine. Just keep autoing him here. It's fine. I agree. But
Yeah.
keep autoing. But then you also whack outside your E, which is funny. So you lose your attack speed steroid.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
and also anytime you have ult and Q, you always want to Q and then ult. So instead of ulting here, you want to Q and then ult because your ult will proc your Q passive. And then this instead
Okay.
of him, so he'd be dead right now instead of him being able to flash away. And it ended up being good that he flashed away because you got an extra flash, but you never know. Okay, you actually played that pretty well, Shogath. WA, either wall. This guy's trying to cheese you. Really good sweeper. I like that. Yeah, I mean, I usually hate using the words like unlucky, and but this is a pretty unlucky game so far. Literally every lane lost.
This is my second one. I
Yeah,
think I should probably just flash on this
yep.
guy earlier,
Yeah, wait,
right?
wait. You can start charging a
You
W
just
right
flash on him
now, and then it
sooner.
will be a full charge W, and he'll never even be able to pull. So this is, I
Okay.
100% agree this guy would have died. And then you missed.
Yeah.
I mean, not even
And then I
missed.
missed.
You'll never even let. If he
Yeah.
positions well, you'll never land it because he could always go to be on a minion. Technically,
Yeah.
here, if you're better, you can smite the. If you threw the W at him, you could smite the minion. So you did have counterplay
Hmm.
here. But again, not to overcomplicate it, you could just W him when he's Malzahar ulted, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. This is
I
second big mistake.
Yeah, that was my second one that I had written down. I should have just W'd on him sooner, or I should have just flashed on him sooner. I think
Uh-huh.
he just dies.
He should have died. But yeah, everyone's kind of running. I mean, again, I love passing blame to people when I coach, but this game is genuinely just not your fault. It's just like it just. I know some coaches say every game's winnable. I don't know where that saying came from. Like technically they're not wrong, but like this game is not fucking. I would have F the exact same way. Um, I think you had
But
two
we
mistakes
still
this
didn't hit
game.
yes.
Maybe
I wanted
again,
to
it's not
counterplay.
true. Like maybe if you save Balling from dying that one time, then you could have potential snowball through Balling, and then maybe if you killed this
Hmm.
guy, you'd be 2-0, and then you'd be able to base for a stronger item, and then with that stronger item, you can force a knife out. Like it's true. Like yes, if you played those two mistakes we said, there is an imaginary world where you can now use this extra gold and extra XP to now impact the map. It's just still unlikely. It's still not like guaranteed that
Yeah.
you'll come back in this game. You know, it does increase the chances of potentially winning. That is true. But I definitely wouldn't beat yourself up for this game. I wish I saw some of the problems you said you're saying, like, oh, I'm countered by people who are going into too much, because I didn't see it this game. So
Yeah, this game I didn't really have that issue particularly. It was just, yeah, I was just having a hard time with like all of my lanes were losing, and I felt like I just
yeah, that's just how it is. I mean, I could look back to see if there's a time you could have impacted your laners more. I didn't see it initially, but I'll look again.
that's my other thing I wanted to ask is I know a lot of times people will say just like build the same thing, like or at least like the same core items every game. Like if I'm playing Viego, at least for the first like good while, I should just always build crit if I'm gonna build crit, so that I can just like get used to the numbers and like the feel of
Uh-huh.
items, I guess.
Uh,
Like this game, I decided like obviously didn't go very long, but because I saw that there were three people that were going to be stacking a lot of HP, maybe even four, I went Bork first item, which I don't normally do, but I was
uh,
gonna go Bork Sundered Sky.
mhm.
Is that you think that's like a good thing to be doing, or do you think it's better to like stick with the
I
with
think I was
what I'm
thinking. I mean,
used
I'm
to?
actually like, the other coaches don't like me. I mean, no one here. I'm just saying like the coaches in a fucking world sense because they're not wrong. You should just learn your limits best on a certain thing. I am like a hate, like not a hater, but at least for Viego specifically, I think Viego has many build paths. Like literally the other day, like I literally went on stream and was just playing Kraken Titanic just to prove that that build's still viable because that build just that build was meta a year ago, and then Titanic got no nerfs, and Kraken's only gotten buffed, and that build for some reason has vanished. And that build's still completely very good as well. Same with Bork builds. So I'm a big enthusiast of trying out the different builds. People are going the same build every game, which is kind of annoying. They are right that by building the same items, you are gonna learn your limits better. But if we're actually talking about like objectively the best items in this game, I don't think your build is bad. I do think that I think if you had no setup, let's say you had Kale top, Akali mid, Vayne 80 carry, then this build is built Bork's better. I think in this game when you have actually set up in every single role, Jax has E, Mouse has ult, Ash has slows, Sona has auto slow, Sona has ult. Because you have so much CC, you don't actually need to do maximum damage. You could just go the normal build because you'll be less damaged compared to Bork, yes, but you don't need to do maximum damage because your teammates are like CCing them for you. Does that make sense?
So
Uh,
what do you mean by I don't need to be doing maximum damage? Like what's like the normal build that you're describing? What would I be building instead?
okay, like I think to
Because
me,
like normally I go Triforce into crit is what I
yes, that's
normally
I
do.
would consider that normal build. I consider like try into collector, and then third is either Shoba or Lord Doms depending on their armor,
Yeah,
and then fourth is the other one, and then fifth would be like IE. That's like the normal build. I know a lot of people like to go Kraken into crit. I don't, I dislike Kraken.
I like Triforce
I
more.
think try is always better. Yes, agreed. But I think in this game, like technically, the idea is like, oh, they have HP scaler, so Bork would be like um custom. It's like tailor fit damage just for their champs is the logic, right? So technically,
Yeah,
it's maximum damage for their champs. But I think because you have set up in your lanes, you could just go the normal build, which is what you normally go. Especially because
okay.
you have so much like you have Mouse AP, Jax has a lot of AP, Sona has AP. They can't really stack armor as well as they normally would. So I think crit would definitely not be bad this game. But
Okay.
again, because you're set up, I think you're able to be more. Um, you don't have to do. You could just go to try because it's technically a healthier build as well because it gives you HP. Um,
With like the champ pool thing,
mhm.
the thing that I think is I mean just clearly the hardest for